Well, hello, y'all. Welcome to my humble abode. How is everybody tonight? It is Wednesday. Y'all know what I tell y'all. It's Wednesday. We done made it to hump day, the middle of the week. 2 days down, two more to go. We done made it. Hey, baby. Hey, how are you tonight? Listen, tonight is gonna be juicy, y'all. Oh my God. When I tell y'all, so we got another platinum letter submission for the night. I figured I just go ahead since I had a couple in the arsenal. I'll go ahead and pull them out this week. But tonight, when I tell y'all tonight, I wasn't ready. So I know if I wasn't ready, I know y'all ain't gonna be ready tonight. Like, whew, it is everything, okay? It is everything when I tell y'all tonight it's gonna be juicy. All I ask tonight is that y'all promise to give your honest opinion and nothing but your honest opinion tonight. Because it is going down. It is going down. How is everybody doing tonight? How is your Wednesday? We have made it to the middle of the week, y'all. We got 2 more days to the weekend till we can relax, kick our feet up. Yes, hashtag spicy. Baby, it's going to be spicy tonight, okay? It's going to be spicy tonight. Matter of fact, we just going to get into it. Because when I tell y'all thought Monday was something. Mm-mm. Oh, no, honey. Mm-mm. Y'all gonna need your glasses of wine tonight. You gonna need that glass of wine tonight. I promise you, you will. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all right. So I'm gonna read the letter. It says, "Dear Madam, I ran across your channel on YouTube, and you was reading a letter. I like how you was straight up with it, and thought since nobody I know will know what I'm doing, I figured I might as well give it a try to see what you think. Me and my wife have been married 20 years since high school. I knew she was the one I was going to marry instantly, and we have 2 kids together. Recently, my son was hurt on a bike riding accident and he lost a lot of blood. I instantly gave my blood for my son. What didn't click in my head until later is when the doctor said I'm not a match. So, of course, my wife gave her blood. My son is fine, but it didn't dawn on me what the doctor said because all I knew was my son was hurt. So me and my son wanted to find out what our actual blood types were. I don't like doctors and definitely don't like needles. This time was different because my son wasn't in trouble. This was voluntary. My brother wanted to know his because you never know when something like this happens. Nobody was tricked. I just want to know what type again. It didn't dawn on me what he was really saying. I thought the doctor was saying I'm B and he is O. I didn't know all that, but I do know that's my son, so he has my blood, or so I thought. My brother just recently got married, and he has been with her for quite some time. Me and my wife have never been separated, and she has never cheated on me. I never cheated on her. Y'all see my face, right? All right. This was the woman I wanted to marry, and she had my back since high school. All right, skin juicy. The doctor came back with a sad look on his face, and he wanted to talk to me and my brother separately. That got me suspicious. But he told me I was not ready for it, and I still don't know how to process this. My son is not a match with me, but my brother is. Now, before you go into anything, no, my wife did not cheat on me with my brother. We had a threesome before we got into fully committed. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Baby, did you see my eyes? Okay. Thought they was about to fall out my head, honey. Woo! I told y'all tonight was gonna be juicy, y'all. I told you. It says the thing is, how do I tell my son that his uncle is his biological father? That's still my son. I raised that nappy headed boy. That's my son. Better yet, how do we explain it to the family and my wife because she doesn't know officially And she thinks I am the father because the next day, me and her had sex without protection. When we had the threesome, we used the condom. We were freaks, and I wanted to marry my own freak, and I did so. I'm not judging her, but I am at a dilemma because my brother knows this will ruin his marriage, and the family will definitely not understand this. Do we keep this between us brothers and take it to the grave, or do we tell the family? My brother has already agreed that he is still my son regardless, and he has no idea about this and don't want anything to change between us. If anything, this made me and my brother bond stronger to know he would do this for me. The thing is, I can't lie to my son and wife. Everything is on me because my brother doesn't want his wife to know. What should I do? Bam! Baby. Woo. When I told y'all it was gonna be spicy, I don't know how much more spicy we can get. Oh, I don't know how much spicy we can get. Hey, Linda said juicy, juicy. Bobby said, oh no. Linda said, what the what? Yes, we don't know how old the son is. Linda said, freaky, freaky. Okay, Linda said, take it to the grave. What do we think, y'all? Should he take it to the grave? Should this be something he discusses with his family? Like, because here's the thing. Now we're talking about not just relationships being affected, but we're talking about a child's life. Like how do you tell a child, like, oh, well, by the way, I'm not your dad, I'm your uncle, and your uncle is your dad? Like, how do you not only explain that to the child, but how do you explain it to your family and explain that to the new wife of the brother? Because he would have to explain to his new wife that he slept with his brother's wife with his brother. Like, this brings on a whole new definition of sharing. Like, I know that people share, okay, but there's just some things I don't particularly want to share with my sister. Hey, sister. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome to my living room. This is the madam's living room. This is how she live. Like, how do you explain that to somebody? Like, what do you say? Like, how do you tell your mother that her grandson is still a grandson, but just he belonged to the wrong son? Like, how do you navigate that? Like, just like, so, hey, mom. Linda said, just say we were on LSD when the threesome happened. Blame it on the drugs. Baby, like, how do you navigate that? Like, you just had, like, so dad, I just want to talk to you for a minute, dad. Like, so me and bro, one night we was on some stuff, and you know what I'm saying, some stuff went down, and you know what I'm saying, like, so your grandson is mine, not my brother's, but we cool. Like, but we need you to be cool. Like, you explain that. Because at the end of the day, that can really be detrimental to this child's mental health, like their identity. Like, because you know how society judges. Society is super duper judgmental. Y'all know how we can be sometimes. Like, could you imagine, like, when they have Parents' Day, like, who shows up, your dad or your uncle? Like, or does your uncle dad, like, because they both your uncle dad, like, one's an uncle dad and one's a dad uncle. So, like who shows up? once you explain all this to a child. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But here's the other thing. Like, if he takes that to the grave, does that mean that everybody's taking it to the grave? Because what if something else happens? Like, this was a freak accident. The child had a biking accident, like on a regular bike, and literally lost blood. So, how do you? Lisa said, just heard what you said. What the what? Okay. So I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of this platinum letter. So the platinum letter, the synopsis is a man has been married to his wife for 20 years. His son had a biking accident, lost a lot of blood. So they were donating blood for blood transfusions. He ended up not being a match. He didn't know his blood type. And because his son was hurt, he wasn't thinking about what the doctor said when he said he wasn't a match. So him, his son, and his brother, hey, Lauren, him, his son, and his brother all decided to go find out what their blood type was, because they didn't know what their blood type was. So when they went to go get the blood test, it was revealed that the brother, the uncle, was really the dad, and the dad was really the uncle. So they've been, now mind you, they've been together. This couple has been together for 20 years, and the brother just got married. But the problem is, before the 20-year couple decided to get married, the two brothers and the wife had a threesome. Okay? So the wife don't know that the brother, the uncle, is really the dad, and that the dad is really the uncle. So the brothers know now because of this blood test. And so now he wants to know, like, should they keep it between them and take it to the grave? Or do they explain this to the family? You know, because he still has to tell his wife. Like, he still has to tell her. So, like, does he tell her and everybody in the family? Or because the little boy doesn't know, the son doesn't know, like, and he has another child with his wife. So it's like, how do you navigate through that? How do you navigate through that? Like, so that's what he's asking our opinion on. He's asking if he should tell the family or if they should take it to the grave. So we've already had somebody say take it to the grave. Because regardless, once it's revealed, once it's out there, you can't take it back. You can't backpedal and be like, I was just playing. I ain't mean. I was just kidding. I wasn't for real. Like, you can't do that once it's out. Lauren says they better keep that one on the low. That's the thing. Like, how do you, like, keep that? Because he said that he can't lie. He said that he cannot lie. He said that he cannot lie. He said the problem that he's having is, he says he cannot lie to his wife and his son, even though, you know, his brother said that he'll take it to the grave. His brother was like, he good. Because the brother just got married. So could you imagine you just getting married and your husband come to you and tell you that he got a baby with his sister-in-law? You're gonna be like, where the annulment papers? Anybody got the annulment papers? Can I get those? When I tell you, Lisa, what kind of monkey balls is that? It should be told to people that they were involved because you will mess up the child's life. Absolutely. And Lauren said, that's deep, baby. I'm trying to tell you, honey, like, Linda said, mess up shit, seek counseling. Like, I mean, you really are going to need counseling to navigate through this, because there's no easy way to just sit down at the dinner table and you just sitting around the dinner table like, can you pass me the mashed potatoes? And by the way, I'm your dad. Could you imagine? Like all this casual conversation, like, you know, these mashed potatoes are really delicious. And I'm your dad, you know, I'm your uncle, not your dad. Like, wait, what? Like, that's just not some shit you throw at the dinner table. Like, that literally needs some premeditation. Lisa said that's in the past before the wife came into the picture. I mean, I understand the fact that it was before her, but still, that's messy though. Because now your sister in law, you're now the stepmom to your sister in law's baby. Like, it's like that song, I'm my own grandpa. Like, what? Like, who? Lauren says, I need counseling after listening to the story. I know they gonna need years of it. Man, I'm just saying. Bev says, what are we discussing on this Salacious Wednesday? Honey, we have a platinum letter. Okay. That was submitted. It is super juicy. Whoo, baby. Lauren says they better call TD Jakes and have a session about this, baby. They gonna need some TD Jakes. They gonna need some Iyanla Fix My Life. Baby, it's gonna be a whole lot of therapy sessions they gonna need. Okay, like this is the whole family gonna need therapy if this gets. Could you imagine? Y'all show up at the family reunion and they be like, okay, so which one of y'all is the daddy again? Like the whole family gonna need counseling. Like this sound like it needs to be a Tyler Perry movie. I'm just saying, it sounds like it needs to be a Tyler Perry movie. Elisa says it happens a lot with people. The only one that gets hurt is the child. Absolutely. I guess for me, the crazy part is now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with threesomes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is with your sister, though, like with your brother, though, like that wouldn't be awkward. Like, you just in the room naked with your sibling, like just like that wouldn't be like that wouldn't be awkward enough, and then to have a baby out of the situation. I don't know about y'all, but it's just some things I ain't sharing with my sister. You know what I'm saying? And the person I'm with is one of them. I'm not sharing with my sister. Okay, like that is just. Ooh. Linda says, "How can you explain this? Take that shit to the grave." Yeah, like how? Because I'm kind of on board with the take it to the grave. I'm kind of on board with the take it to the grave because it will absolutely be like a domino effect. It's literally like a domino effect because okay, so say you start explaining to the child first. Okay, let's just say you explain to the child first. Even if you explain it to the child first, that in itself is going to be like you're really going to have to sit down with a therapist to explain to him that the person that they've known as their father is really their uncle, and the person that they've known as their uncle is really their father. Like the dynamics would even change. The dynamics would change. But then here's the other question, because he said that the brother told him that that's still going to be his son and that he was cool with it. So if the brother is cool with just being the uncle and continuing to be the uncle, like, should they really change that situation? Or should they keep it like that? Like, that's the other crazy part. Like, here's another thing. What happens if it's like Lisa said, that's the problem with black families. We keep too many secrets. We definitely do keep a lot of secrets. Here's the other thing. How do you, is it worth it? Like, is exposing this really worth hurting all the people that are involved? That's the question. Because it's going to be a lot of hurt people. Because here's the thing, the wife don't even know. She thinks her husband is her son's father. Like, could you imagine? Okay, let's look at it this way. You decide to have a night of fun. Okay. Whoever the two people are, whatever, that's your business. You decide to have a night of fun, right? You wind up with a baby afterwards. You thinking that it's one person and it's not that person. And you don't find out until years later. Like, that in itself is a mental shock. Like, that's a mental shock in itself. See, that's what I said, Linda. Linda said, no way, a threesome with my sister or my brother. No way, no way. That's how I feel like it. There's just some things you don't share with siblings. Like, I, yeah, there's nothing that you can convince me to, like, nothing you could say or do to convince me that it would be a good idea to have a threesome with a sibling. Like, I don't care what, like, that's what I say. Look, to each your own. Clearly, the brothers were content with what they did, with the wife or whatever before. He said that it was before a committed relationship. So this was done before they decided to get married and before, you know what I'm saying, before all of that took place. But still, Linda says sometimes you have to keep your drawers on. Baby, sometimes you do. Sometimes you just have to turn things down, okay? Like, everything is not meant. Everything is not meant for you to have fun. It's not at all. So, here's the thing. It's like, I'm trying to think how else to explain it. If you have let's see. If you have there's really no other way to look at it. There's really no other way to look at it. It's really not. It's either one or Lisa said, I agree, Linda. It's just some things that you just have to pass on. Some things you should just say no to, no matter what. Hey, Elliot, that's what I said. Who does that? Like, what? I'm still stuck on that part. Like, that part is really still stuck on me. Like, how do you just decide that? Guess what? Hey, guess what, sister? You know what? I ain't doing nothing. I met this guy. Or, hey, brother, I met this chick. She real cute. You doing anything? No? Okay. Well, how about you come over and, like, what kind of conversation is that? Like, it's not a car. A person is not a car that you just decide to take a ride in. That's not how that works. Like, what? Okay. Because it is really blowing my mind, the fact that it, like, I don't know. I'm I'm trying to get past the fact that he had the threesome with his brother and the brother's wife. Like, I'm still stuck on that. Because here's the thing. How many times were, like, I get that they had their fun and everything like that, but here, Letitia said, "What did I just log on to, girl?" When I tell you, okay, for those of you who came in late, we had a platinum letter, and okay, so I'm gonna go back. I got to pull it back up, so I'm gonna read it to you. Because we had, okay, so for those of you who are new, hey, love y'all, appreciate you for stopping by. We have platinum letters. What platinum letters are is they're submissions that people anonymously write in, or they inbox me different scenarios and they ask us our opinions on things. I never discuss who writes in. I never divulge the person, who it is, the person's name, none of that. It all remains anonymous. And all we do is we discuss the letter and we give our opinions on the different situations so that the person can get another viewpoint. So the letter that the person wrote me, they inboxed me. And so I'm going to read the letter again so you guys can know what you stepped into. Okay. It says, "Dear Madam, I ran across your channel on YouTube and you was reading a letter. I know I like how you was straight up with it, and Thought since nobody I know will know what I'm doing, I figured I might as well give it a try to see what you think. Me and my wife have been married 20 years since high school. I knew she was the one I was going to marry instantly, and we have two kids together. Recently, my son was hurt on a bike riding accident and he lost a lot of blood. I instantly gave blood for my son. What didn't click in my head until later is when the doctor said I'm not a match. So of course my wife gave her blood. My son is fine, but it didn't dawn on me what the doctor said because all I knew was my son was hurt. So me and my son wanted to find out what our actual blood types were. I don't like doctors and definitely don't like needles. This time was different because my son wasn't in trouble. This was voluntary. My brother also wanted to know his because you never know when something like this happens. Nobody was tricked. I just wanted to know what my blood type was. Again, it didn't dawn on me what he was really saying. I thought the doctor was saying, like, I'm B and he is O. I don't know all that, but I do know that's my son, so he has my blood, or so I thought. My brother just recently got married and he has been with her for quite some time. Me and my wife have never been separated. She has never cheated on me. I never cheated on her. This was the woman I wanted to marry, and she had my back since high school. The doctor came back with a sad look on his face and he wanted to talk to me and my brother separately. That got me suspicious. What he told me, I was not ready for it, and I still don't know how to process this. My son is not a match with me, but my brother is. Now, before you go into anything, no, my wife did not cheat on me with my brother. We had a threesome before we got into being fully committed. The thing is, how do I tell my son that his uncle is his biological father? That's still my son. I raised that nappy-headed boy. That's my son. Better yet, how do we explain it to the family and my wife? Because she doesn't know officially and she thinks I am the father because the next day, me and her had sex without protection. When we had the threesome, we used a condom. We were freaks and I wanted to marry my own freak, and I did so. I'm not judging her, but I am at a dilemma because my brother knows this will ruin his marriage and the family will definitely not understand this. Do we keep this between us brothers and take it to the grave, or do we tell the family? My brother has already agreed that he is still my son regardless. And he has no idea about this and don't want anything to change between us. If anything, this made me and my brother's bond stronger to know he would do this for me. The thing is, I can't lie to my son and my wife. Everything is on me because my brother doesn't want his wife to know. What should I do? So that is the letter in which we are discussing tonight. That is our platinum letter submission that we are discussing tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, your thoughts. Like, now you see why I'm stuck. Like, let us say LSD, alcohol, weed, opioid night. I know, right, Ellie? He said, wait. This said, oh, damn, it's worse than I thought. Yes. When I said it was going to be juicy tonight, baby, I couldn't give away all the details. I couldn't tell you everything, but all I can say is that it was juicy, honey. That's all I could tell y'all. I couldn't give y'all everything. But whew, that's why I said, as long as you promise to give your honest opinion and nothing but, baby. Bobby said this will cause too many problems. The brothers need to keep their mouth shut. So, like, are we all in agreement that they need to, like, I'm into it. Like, so are we in agreement that they need to keep their mouth shut, like, and not say anything? Thank you, Linda. Like, so are we all in agreement? Like, just keep your mouth shut and keep it moving. Because, baby, when I tell you, but here's the thing, like, okay, his brother, cool. His brother, like, look, man, look, you been his daddy, you still gonna be his daddy. I'm gonna continue to play that uncle role. Okay, cool. But he said that he cannot lie to his wife and his son. So, like, is that kind of like a betrayal to his brother? Because his brother's like, hey, like, yeah, G, I got your back. I got you. Like, Me and you, we gonna keep this between us. Like, and then for him to now I can understand him telling his wife. I can completely wholeheartedly understand him wanting to tell his wife because I feel like she should know because she doesn't like wholeheartedly because as adults they all went into this willing participants. So I think because they went into this willing participants, I think he should at least tell his wife. I don't think they should tell the son. I don't think they should tell the rest of the family. But I think he needs to tell his wife, and then I think the three of them need to have a conversation together. I, other than that, I think outside of them three, I don't really think that anybody else needs to know about it. Like, does anybody else feel differently about that? I feel like just the wife should know, and they had that conversation. But I don't really think that if the uncle wants to continue to play the uncle role and not step into the dad role, then why reveal it and you know what I'm saying? Put him in a role that he kind of really doesn't want to play, that his brother has been playing all this time. Like that's gonna be awkward as hell at family reunions. Like, oh, that's your daddy, but he don't really want to be your daddy. He just want to be your uncle. Like why do that? You know what I'm saying? Lisa said you should keep you should keep nasty, freaky trials locked in a room. The Letitia said to the grave. Bobby said, unless the child has illness, problems, or something like that. But here's the thing, even in that though, Bobby, they have the same parents. They're brothers. So does it matter? Like, even, okay, so say something happens, right? And they need a family history. Well, the daddy's family history is going to be the same as the uncle's family history because the daddy and the uncle got the same parents. So do it really matter? You know what I'm saying? Do it really matter in terms of telling them or telling anybody else? Because that's not something that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's like something that's not gonna change. Bobby says if he can't tell a lie, then he's asking for trouble. Okay, Ali said the truth hurts. Bobby says tell the wife. The family doesn't need to know. Yeah, I don't think the family needs to know. It's messy. That gets messy. Letitia said that's it. Keep it between the spouses. Now, I will say I don't feel like the brother's wife needs to know. I don't think she needs to know. Like, I don't think she needs to know about it. Because it's not gonna because her knowing, um, I don't know, that's kind of to me, that's kind of like a loose end telling her. Because if the uncle wants to continue to play his role, why mess up his marriage if the brothers and the wife are okay with the situation as is? Like, why bring her in? You know what I'm saying? Even though they've been together for a while, but they're just freshly married. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bobby said that's absolutely true. Lisa says, OMG, this is a mess. Jesus needs to be called for this one, honey. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay? Just take the wheel. Just dead. Just take the wheel. Letitia said only is the child needs a blood transfusion. But see, that's the thing. That's how this all started because the boy needed a blood transfusion. And the dad was like, my son, I'm here to save the day. And it was like, yeah, you're not a match. You got any other family members? And because he was so focused on the fact that his son was hurt, he was not even realizing that the doctor was like inadvertently saying, you ain't the daddy. Ellen said, I am dead. Lily said, babe, remember that night? Maybe them three don't need to get together because pants and skirts may drop again. Linda said the secret can destroy the marriage. It can. Like, that's what I said. I don't think the wife, because here's the thing, the brother sound like he like, look, I mean, in my opinion, the brother sound like he just kind of like, it is what it is. Like, you his daddy, you been his daddy. Like, man, I'm cool over here. Just, hey, Neff, what's going on? Like, he ain't trying, you know what I'm saying? He's in the boy's life. He's his uncle. He's active with him, like, do they really need to change the dynamics? Like, especially if he don't want to be that boy daddy. Because he didn't say that the brother had kids. He just said that he just recently got married. He didn't say the brother had other kids. Not to mention, we keep forgetting there's another child. They have another child. The husband and the wife have another child together. So, like, if they tell the son, they got to explain this to the other child. Like, so we don't know how old that other child is. Like, I'm just saying, it absolutely can destroy the marriage. Bobby says this is some Lorenz Tate movie stuff. Girl, I feel like this needs to be a Tyler Perry movie. Okay, this feel like it should be a Tyler Perry movie. Okay, with all of this. Bev says this happens more often than not. Hey, Bev. She says, I had two school friends that were biological brother and sister that had kids together. Wow. Oh my God. Bobby says, I'm with Linda. They already have the tendencies. That's true. That's true. Bev says, when they first met, they had no clue, and the family didn't tell them they each had a sibling out there. Wow. And see, that's the thing. Like, that's crazy. So now, when the brother has kids, those are going to be his cousins and his siblings. Like, that's crazy. They're going to be sibling cousins because his uncle is his dad, so which will make the siblings his siblings. And because his dad is his uncle, that would actually make them his cousins. Like that is just so weird. Like, oh, Lisa, this is some tomfoolery, baby. They'll say yes. All they had these kids, and lucky that kids were normal. Girl, how many kids did they have, child? I'm see now. I need to know how many kids they had. Like, oh, with the bloodlines being so close, but at least their kids came out normal because usually they don't. Usually, kids don't come out normal when their bloodlines are like really close, or when they share 50% of the DNA. It usually doesn't. It usually doesn't. Linda said, keep that shit between them, child. The child will be devastated. And they will. Well, we don't know how old the child is. We just know that they've been married for 20 years and they were high school sweethearts. So we don't know if the boy is a teenager, if he's 20, or how old. So it's gotta be at least 20 if this happened before they decided to be committed and they've been married for 20 years. So got to be at least 20, I would think. I would think. But even as an adult, it would still have ramifications behind it. Like, could you imagine at 21, somebody decides to tell you, oh, yeah, by the way, your dad is your uncle? Say what? Like, it would still have ramifications, even if the child is an adult. Bev says, hope they never need any medical issues. Honey, that's what I'm talking about. Because when you had that bloodline like that, you talking about all kinds of health issues. Some are external, some are internal. I'm talking missing organs. I'm surprised they ain't had no conjoined twins or nothing like that. Because mixing in bloodlines like that can be, that ain't nothing to play with. Letitia said the bloodline won't be affected because the brother got the wife pregnant, not his sister. No, Bev said she had two friends that went to school together that were biological brother and sister, and they had babies together because they didn't know that they were actual brother and sister until after they had babies. Like that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, that's Bobby said too messy. I think if the child found out, it would be devastating. I think so. I think so too. Because here's the thing. Even if the child is 20, 21, anywhere like that, here's the thing. It is the fact that you've grown up your whole life thinking that your parents were your parents, only to find out that your dad was really your uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really ugh. Like how do you? Ooh, child. Bell says they had a Tyler Perry movie like that where the young man grew up with his aunt who was actually his mom. She said, I'm in California, my phone free. Okay, in California, you on your first stop of the trip, ma'am. I forgot you on your trip, honey. He was conceived from a brother. I remember that. No, it wasn't the family that prays. It was um it was the movie was Big Happy Family. It was. The movie was Big Happy Family. And the play was I'm trying to think what the name of the play was. But the movie was The Family That Prays, where the girl was raped by her uncle. But this is like completely different. Because this is like yeah, it was Big Happy Family. The movie was Big Happy Family. I can't remember what the play was because the play wasn't Big Happy Family. The play was something else. Um, but here's the thing. It goes to show you that it was no, it was Big Happy Family, Bear. Family That Prays was with Alfred Woodard. Girl, I got all his movies and plays. Yeah, the Family That Prays was with Alfred Woodard. But here's the thing: what we have to realize that as adults, our choices have consequences, and that's something that our kids have to learn. That choices have consequences. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Sometimes your actions are questionable, but they all have consequences. For every action, there's a reaction. So now, because the three of them have made a choice, they made that choice to have that threesome, the three of them together, willing participants. Now you are literally left with, you know what I'm saying? Like you're left with the fallout of it because now he feels like that guilt is going to eat him up because he feel like he can't lie to his wife, can't lie to his son. Like I feel like because he's been his dad all this time, there should be no difference. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really no difference in what's going on. You literally have to realize that when you're going through situations, it shows on your face. So could you imagine when your dad sees you now, he's kind of like, hey, how are you? You like, oh, what the hell wrong with you? Like, you okay? What's wrong with you? You need to tell me something? Like, how do you, if that guilt is going to eat him, he's going to have to do something about that. Or either he going to wind up spilling the beans. He going to wind up spilling it. And it ain't going to be good for nobody. Because that's going to cause problems not only in his family, but that's going to cause a rift between him and his brother. Especially because the brother is just like, hey, I'm cool. The way things are, let's just keep it like this. Woohoo. You, you know what I'm saying? And as long as him and the wife are just like okay with it, then leave it be. Let sleeping dogs lie. Literally. Let sleeping dogs lie, literally. Because there is no positive outcome like that I can see out of just telling everybody. Like there's no like any way you look at this, no matter who you tell, outside of the three of them knowing, there is going to be some serious fallout. Family is going to start taking sides about who's right, who's wrong. Then they're going to start judging. And then, and we don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need that if it doesn't have to be that way. Like if everybody's cool with the quid pro quo, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Let it be. But he's gonna have to do something about his conscience. He's going to have to do something. Otherwise, that guilt is going to eat him alive. How do you think, like, What do you think, even in just him telling his wife? Like, how do you think she's gonna react to it? Like, I'm sure she's gonna, yeah, like, ooh, like, could you imagine how she's gonna react to it? Right, Bobby. That's not the business of the family. It's not. Like everything doesn't have to be shared with everybody. Like I don't have to necessarily tell you who I was out with yesterday or who I, you know what I'm saying? Like that ain't none of your business. Like, okay. Sometimes family want to know too much and sometimes family overstep. They don't have to know everything about everybody, and it's okay. Like what goes on in your household does not need to be shared with mama, with grandma, with granddaddy. Then you got to tell cousin Lou, and then you got to tell this cousin, and then you got to tell that cousin. Everybody don't need to know that. Everybody don't need to know, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody don't need to know everything. So I'm more concerned about her, the wife. That's who my mind goes to, because now you have to tell this woman who has been living her life a certain way and thinking things are a certain way, to now the husband has to come home and tell her like, hey babe, we need to sit down and have a talk. Like so I went to the doctor today and the doctor told me that you know, Ricky ain't mad. Like what? Like the reaction that she will have, like I can only imagine the thing that's going to go through her mind when he and that's why I say if he wants to bare his soul, bare it to your wife. Bobby says, but I guess he wants to bare his soul. Bare it to your wife. Nobody else. Nobody else has to know. Nobody else has to participate in that conversation besides his wife and maybe his brother. So that they can both reassure her, because there's nobody to be mad at. There's nobody to be mad at. Life happens. Shit happens. It's a consequence of their choices. It's a consequence of their choices. So if he feels that he needs to bare his soul, and if he feels like this guilt is just something that he just can't take, he just can't tolerate, then he better get to talking to his wife. Like sit down, tell her about how you feel, go through that with her, write it out, burn it. But ultimately, I don't think that there's any point in telling the son, because all it's going to do is ruin the relationship that he has with his dad. I mean, it might not. It might not, because here's the thing: they kind of found out. They didn't know. You know, I can understand that, but still, I just don't see the point in ruining so many people's lives and damaging so many people's relationships. Now, push come to shove, I think that the husband and the wife should go to counseling, so that they can learn how to move forward, with this information, keeping it to themselves. Um, like I, mm, that's going to be a hard conversation for him to have with her. Because how do you tell somebody that? Like especially when it's not. Well, I guess it wasn't a big deal to them. Like he said, they was freaks. He wanted to marry his own freaks, so you don't know what else they was doing or who else they were doing. So I mean, if that's the kind of stuff they were into, then I guess it's a good thing it's his brother and nobody else. We don't know what that woman was doing or who he was doing, or because he said they were freaks. So clearly, this was something that was just a normal thing for them. It wasn't something that they like thought twice. And Bobby said it was a bad decision, and now they need to keep it to themselves and seek counseling. Yes. Linda said, "Did you say they were condoms? I guess the brother took his off." I'm not able to like Linda. Not at all, ma'am. No, ma'am. I guess it broke. I don't know, because he said when they had the threesome that they used condoms. So I guess the brothers broke, and his swimmers got there before his brothers got there the next day. I don't know, but I mean, it's just a consequence of their actions and their partying. And like he said, they were freaks. And I guess it's a good thing that it turned out to be his brother as opposed to whoever else they were having threesomes with. Because I'm sure, I guarantee that that was not the only one they had. I'm pretty sure that was not the only one they had, especially if he said, let me say, yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe that particular night she happened to be feeling the brother more than you know. That's why I said it's already weird enough. It's weird enough the fact that that they're brothers. I mean, now here's the thing. I've heard of, now don't get me wrong, there have been times where, like, say you date somebody and then years later, you run into that person, or either your sister or your brother run into that person years later, and your brother shows up, and you be like, sure, like, man, gee, like, I didn't even realize this was, until we got to talking and blah blah blah. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Because let me tell you something. Who you date in high school is 9 times out of 10 is probably not that serious. So if your sibling happened to run into him like 20 years down the line and married him, that's something different. But not your high school sweetheart that you married to, and y'all like, no, we not playing them games. We not playing them games. Linda said the freaks come out. Bobby said, yes, girl. I was thinking the same thing. I know that wasn't the only time. Let's get real. Like, that's the thing. Like, because he specifically said, like, they were freaks. They had a threesome. Like, so here's the thing. Even if they weren't regularly having threesomes with brother, I'm sure they were regularly having threesomes with other people. So, I mean, it just so happened that she got pregnant by the brother. So, I mean, you're not going to sit here and convince me no other way that he said he wanted to marry his own freak and that they were freaks, and he made sure that was in the letter. So I'm telling y'all that was in the letter. So I'm sure that was not the only time. So it just happened to be a consequence of their actions. Because I'm sure they were doing some other things too. But it's different, you know what I'm saying? Well, in my opinion, I feel like it's different as opposed to, like I said, you marry your brother's ex-girlfriend from high school 30, 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, they dated freshman year, or they dated like in 8th grade, and then 20 years later you see her again and you marry your brother's ex-girlfriend. Like, that's different. Like, that I don't see a problem with. Or your sister dated somebody they sophomore year for like 6 months or for a whole year. Ooh, 20 years later, you see, dude, y'all meet, don't realize who you are, get to talking, and y'all wind up getting married. Okay, cool. Like, hey, Nana. Linda says, sure, cousins ain't involved in this three. Girl, when I tell you, I don't know who they bringing in. Because at this point, if you willing to bring in a sibling, I don't know if cousins is off limits. I don't know, because I was always under the impression that sibling family members, period, was off limits. I'm just saying. But see, this just goes to show you that each is own, because not everybody has the same rules and everybody has the same limits. And it's okay, but just know that you have to deal with the fallout of whatever comes your way. So it is what it is. This was not, when I first read it, I was kind of like, "Ooh, okay." It took me back. It definitely knocked me back a minute, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, we need some opinions on this one." Because I just wanted to make sure that, because not everybody has the same opinion. Let me tell them, I guess they wanted to keep it in the family. Child, listen, I don't know what they wanted to do or what they wanted to keep. Okay, I don't know. Either way, it's some things just don't need to be done. Some things you should just kind of say out loud to yourself before you do them. When you thinking it, say it out loud. And if it sounds crazy coming out your mouth, then you probably shouldn't do it. Like sitting there and be like, oh, I wonder what you call it if my brother or my sister have a threesome with me before. So like the fact that came out your mouth and it didn't sound crazy to you when it came out your mouth, like I mean, I don't get me wrong, there's freaks, but that takes it to a whole nother level. That, yeah, that just takes it to a whole nother level for me. I don't. It's just some things you should just say no to. Just step away from. Step away from the thought. Like I. And again, it each his own. But just know that sometimes, as adults, our actions have reactions that affect our kids, cause and effect. That sometimes we have to be mindful of the things in which we do because it could come back to bite us in the ass later. And this is one of those situations where it's kind of coming back to bite him in the ass. And although his brother may be cool with it, and although he's like he appreciates his brother being cool with the thought of although he's cool with the thought of his brother, like hey, that's your son, that's always been your son, like gee, good looking. But it's still he's not really okay with it because he feels like he just got to tell somebody. So I hope that he finds some peace in this situation. My suggestion is tell your wife, sit down, have a conversation with her, and if need be, have a conversation. Have a conversation with your wife and your brother, and the three of y'all work it out. Work that out. Come to whatever arrangement, whatever agreement that you need to. Um, but just don't tell the son and don't tell nobody in the family. I mean, don't tell no cousins. Don't tell the auntie because you always have that one auntie that be like, baby, you can tell me anything. And then you tell her, and then when she get drunk at the family reunion, she be done told all your business. Like, we all had that one relative that you tell something like, girl, I ain't gonna tell nobody. Baby, I got you. I ain't gonna tell nobody. And as soon as they get to the family reunion, get a little lick in their system. Baby, did you know? Did you know that Junebug had another baby? Like I'm trying to tell you, they tell everything. They tell everything. So my advice is to not tell nobody. Nobody better not tell nobody but God. Don't just tell your wife. Have that conversation. Let it be. Take it to your grave. If you feel like you just have to write it out, and you really feel like you need to tell him, write your son a letter. Say everything you need to say. Burn it. Like as soon as sincerely, dad. Let me tell you something. Write that letter. Grab your torch. Sincerely, dad. Let it go. Torch it. Like doesn't need to know. You'll be ruining somebody's life for no apparent reason. None whatsoever. This was definitely a letter that knocked me back. I'm sure it knocked a few of y'all back because some of y'all was like, wait, what happened? Wait, what? That was my reaction when I first read it. And I was like, okay, if I thought it was juicy and I thought that this was worth sharing, I was like, yeah, yep. Linda says, if you tell anyone outside the three, they will be judged. Absolutely. All three of them will be. So it's best to just keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody. I'm just saying that's your best bet. So so listen. I appreciate you guys, with your opinions and with this letter. Because we have more letters. We will have another one on Friday that I will be sharing. It is just as juicy. It's just as juicy. I promise it is. I'm not gonna reveal anything about that letter either. Just know you don't need to miss it. Because it is, ooh, it's gonna be a good time Friday too. I'm trying to tell you. But I hope that from this, that all the parties involved have learned that every action has a reaction and there are consequences to your actions, whether they be positive or negative. And know that sometimes the things in which we do not only affect us, but they affect the people around us and they affect those that we love. So be mindful of the things in which you do, whether it's having a little fun from time to time or the people you choose to get involved with. It can have an effect on the people around you. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come today, doesn't mean it's going to come tomorrow. But sometime sooner or later, it might come around that corner and bite you in the ass. I'm just saying. Be mindful of that. And as always, I asked you guys, thank you, Linda. As always, I asked you guys to do one random act of kindness, whether it be to smile at someone or to wave at someone in passing, because you never know the trajectory or the path a person may be on. Smiling and waving at someone can make someone feel seen and make someone feel heard that may feel invisible otherwise, that may be on a path to taking their life. You never know that a smile or a simple hello can change their life or change the choice in which they make for their life. I ask that you just make sure that you guys go forth in whatever it is that you do and that you continue to share and spread light, love, and positivity. I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight and make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. And I ask that you guys, in case nobody told you today, you guys are loved, you are beautiful, and you are important. And guess what? I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Okay. Oh, and also, by the way, I just re-enrolled in school, y'all. So I start school next week for broadcasting. TV and radio broadcasting. So I will be starting school next week. So I'm excited about that. So there'll be some things popping in, popping out. We might be in some different locations doing the show. You guys, I might be on the radio. You never know. So we got some interesting things popping off here. Some great things going on with Clack and Shimmy. I'm definitely excited about the things that we're doing. The way in which we're moving, which is nothing but up. And I thank you guys so much for just rocking with me. I thank my A1 Day Ones. I thank you guys for just being on this journey with me. And it is always a pleasure because I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday evening to just chit chat and have some good old conversation. And sometimes, honey, we have some juicy stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh. So, but Friday we will be having an awesome show. We will have another platinum letter submission on Friday. So, yes. Nana says, so many broken hearts and homes, and the children suffer the most, manifested by the troubled lives of so many young people today. This situation is an ongoing, endless saga. And it is. It absolutely is. It really is. Bobby says so. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Letitia. Like it is definitely this is definitely a situation that's not uncommon. It doesn't necessarily mean this closeness, but it is a common, all too common situations of homes broken and children not knowing who their parents are or who one parent may be. It's definitely something that I would like to see end. But sometimes we have to be the change that we want to see. So, with that said, again, I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, go forth in light, love, and positivity. See you guys Friday.